Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, good evening, dear teacher. This is Jimena Gomez Munoz. I am a student of Liley at the UNAD, and today I'm here to give my oral defense to my research project. Okay, let's start. The title of my research project proposal is Analysis of the Development of Speaking Fluency in English Learners. The type of my paper is a research project. I am the author. My advisor is the teacher Norma Zulema Garcia Fonseca. And we have 4 keywords for this research project. The first one is fluency. The second one is speaking. We also have confidence and participation. Okay, a little abstract of my estimate or my problem for give you a little context. Um, the research address issues that 16 grade AALPN students instructed to enhance oral fluency when participating in speaking activities. All this is connected to a fry or phrase expressing in English. And many students hold back during speaking activities because they are afraid of making mistakes, feel nervous when we talk, or worry that the class might will loud attend. These emotional and social factors limit their confidence and reduce their opportunities to practice. Remember that practice is a very important thing to do when we are English learning. And if we are afraid to do speaking, we'll lose the practice. Okay, which directly affects their fluency. That is the reason it becomes necessary to identify speaking strategies and activities that help students feeling safe, participate more, and improve the way they speak in English. So, the research problem is that students from 6th grade A2 um, AFL have issues with fluency development and are afraid to speak for several reasons, which affect their speaking skills. The several reasons are nervous, worried that their classmates will lie of them, or afraid of making mistakes in the more of the case. The problem definition is that the students in public schools, especially those in the lower grades of secondary school, struggle to improve their spoken English. These are due in the infrequency of class and the lack of self-confidence. Okay, let's talk about a little bit about the objectives for my research project. Okay, I want to share with you my research question first of all. My principal research question is, what motivational strategies help 16 grade students gain confidence when speaking English? Um, my general research question is, how can comprehensive English immersion improve speaking confidence in 6th grade students? Okay, let's talk about the objectives. My general objective is identify and analyze speaking strategies that enhance the improvement of oral fluency in 16 grade ABL students, taking into account the emotional and social factors that influence their will to speak. The specific objective is number one, identify the emotional and social issues from students that suffer anxiety, fear of making mistakes, and classmates' jokes that affect their oral fluency and participation among them as a learning of 6th grade AI2 EFL. The second one is to analyze a set of speaking strategies that could guide them through dialogues, collaborative speaking tasks, and low anxiety activities, and defining how they will address fluency challenges. And number three is to evaluate the effectiveness of select speaking strategies in improve students' oral fluency during classroom speaking activities. Um, in this part, I want to share with you a little bit about the contextualization of the place where my research problem take place. The research is carried out in a public educational institution in the municipality of Remedios, Antioquia. It is a place with a difficult social context, since it's going through problems such as armed conflict. The educational institution has a low academic level since few teachers want to work in the area due of the territory. Furthermore, a large part of the students' population has no interest in studying and even less in learning English. Many of the grades see English only once a week and is non-dynamic week. The above mentioned is the main reason for triggers the current research problems. There are no safe spaces where English can be practiced on where is used in encouraged. Pay attention to the final part. In this place, the students don't have safe spaces or safe environments to practice English. They even have safe places to learn English because they only see an English class once a week that have a very low frequency to improve our skills, especially the skill of speaking. That for me is the more difficult skill to improve when you are a English learner. Okay, let's talk about a little bit of the literary review, the theoretical framework. Okay, for this presentation, I choose three actors to support my research project. The first one is Layli, self-esteem, teacher support, and answering. We find that the students are afraid to speak English for fear of making mistakes or being judged. The contribution that this author do to our research is that self-esteem and teacher support reduce anxiety and shyness, making it easier for students to participate more in class. And the implication is emotional confidence is an important and linguistic competence for improving fluency. With second author is Gisela Sosa, speaking anxiety and fluency. The finding is that speaking anxiety directly affects temporal fluency, speed and pauses, grammatical accuracy, and linguistic competency. The contribution that this author do to our research is that interacting with uncooperative or perceived critical interlocutors increase anxiety and reduce speech quality. The implication is that the social context and the interlocutor's perception influence confidence and therefore oral fluency. And the author number three is mean for a student in English as a foreign language by the EFL. The finding is mindfulness strategies help students manage anxiety when speaking English. The contribution is reducing emotional stress and increasing self-awareness improves willingness to participate in oral activity. And the implication is that the social emotional practice, breathing, relaxation, and mindfulness can be pedagogical tool to improve the confidence and the fluency. Okay, I want to talk about the some concepts important in the research project. First of all, I want to talk about the educational theory, experiential learning. We have a David Ackow is the main reference. He proposed a cycle of four phases: concentrated experience, reflexive observation, abstract conceptualization, and active experimentation that allows participants to be transformed into knowledge. También, two, experimental learning differs from rote learning because it places the student as an active protagonist, interacting, reflection, and action. In language teaching, this approach translates into authentic communicate activities, role plays, debates, collaborative projects that increase confidence and oral fluency. And the International Experimental Learning Association emphasizes that the methodology is transformational and it connects personal experience with clear pedagogy objects. About the methodology, my methodology is a experimental type. My scope is explanatory, and my time frame is longitudinal. I want to take about the population, the shields with I work for these research projects that actually as the class where I develop my pedagogical practice. The participants are between 9 and 11 years old. There are approximately 13 students. Okay, there I want to do a disclaimer. Mm, I have a total of 44 students in the class, but I share to say 13 because no, they don't, we don't have all of the students every day class. So the students will from the experimental group, and there will be a control group consisting on the homeroom teacher and the researcher. That's me. Okay. The number of participants was not chosen voluntarily. It was simply decided to work with all the students in the study group. The contest. The study takes place in a public school with in-person classes. The school is located in a municipality of Antioquia. The town name is Remedios. Actually, is the place where I live. This town is far from the metropolitan area. We're far from Medellin City. Therefore, it has limited resource. Actually, the school has limited infrastructure, are overcrowded, is in poor condition, and is lack technological resource and spacious classrooms. Okay, the data collection is participation observation. My idea was not to suffocate the students with these research projects. I just want to apply methodologies and observe and analyze what's happened with the students. Um, what is the use? To record behaviors, interactions, and natural context. To analyze the impact of strategies within the group. Let's talk about the results. I choose to present my results with the objectives. The objective number one was identify emotional and social problems. The result was that it was evident that the students initially present anxiety, fear of making mistakes, and fear of being tested. The complaint is that the objective was achieved since the social emotional factors that limited oral expressions were clearly identified. The objective number two is to analyze oral production strategies. The strategies at play, guideline dialogues, collaborative tasks, low anxiety activities, generate a safe and motivational environment, and the objective was met since strategies that respond directly to the fluency challenge were analyzed and applied. The objective number three is to evaluate the effectiveness of the strategies. And the objective was met since it was possible to evaluate the effectiveness of the strategies. The discussion, the results show that students initially face anxiety, fear for making mistakes, and fear of ridicule, which affect their oral participation. This finding is directly related to S1 theory, who finds that the continuous oral production exposes the student's limitation and generates anxiety, but also open the possibility of seeking strategies to express oneself. The participant observation showed a progressive improvement in oral fluency. Students learn more to produce and consume English, showing a more spontaneous use of the language. The result coincides with the theory of language immersion, which maintains that constant contact with the target language favors natural acquisition. I want to finish with the personal conclusions. A little reflection about that process made this research project was very difficult for me. It was a big challenge, but I learned a lot of it. Acting as an investigator is not easy. Well, it tests your knowledge, your ethics, and your human quality. I believe that this research work reflects a lot of what the teaching vocation is because I know the importance that only things I here give to students truly learning and feeling comfortable in their educational environment. I believe that the study was a success because it managed to demonstrate that indeed the great shortcoming of educational um, in English within public educational institutions, the lack of practice, frequency, and family environment in English. Uh, Here's the reference, and yeah, that's all for my oral defense. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy my research project experience. Goodbye.